So excited for you to be here. I hope you all got a little swag. Welcome Fabio Canesin to speak on NEX.
Hello guys, thank you everybody for being here. It's awesome. Just while we are starting, it's amazing to be doing the first year in Amsterdam. So Amsterdam is the place where the first security in the world was registered. So I should say the first analog security. We are repeating history. We're here talking about exchanges for securities and that kind of stuff. So great to be in Amsterdam. Okay, I like to start next presentations, and this is funny, this is the first public presentation that we do for investors. So this is something that you will start to expect more from NEX now, which is accountability. And this is something that we want to be leading on the industry also. You see lots of stuff that we plan to be leading. So NEX's most important resource is people. It's investors, it's community, and it's employees. So I would like to show outdated, missing many people slide. So this is more or less how the spread of NEX across the world looked at in Q3, before Q3. And you can see it's everywhere, and we want to be in more places. So we want to increase our South American presence, Latin America. We want more people from Africa, from Southeast Asia. So if you are a developer from that places, Europe also, okay? So if you are a developer there, please look at our open positions. And this is because we are trying to build a solution for the world, right? So this is banking for everyone. Okay, so it's pay, trade, invest for everyone. And we believe that we should have a representation of everyone inside the company. This is sometimes is spoken like too much of a seasonal thing, like just for show. But it's important to have different values in the company, and that reflects on our design, our solutions, and the ideas that people have inside it. So with this, what we want to bring is our new motto, and this motto is not about trading, right? This is not about exchange. You don't see a DEX. The same way when you think about Apple and they think different, you don't think about computers, right? So trust yourselves is something that we want, is a value that we share, that we want to bring. It's at the core of the company. It was created by our marketing team and our new copywriter. And what we want to bring here is that when you are doing financial transactions, when you are investing in trading, you should trust yourself, your peers, so there should be tools for that, instead of relying on someone else for that. So after people, the second most important thing for us right now is technology. Technology is how we're going to achieve the goals that we have for volume, for dividends back to you guys, for token price, all the things that matter for you. But it's how we're going to deliver the vision and the values that we have. So I would like to talk about what DEXs are today and what we are aiming for, because there are lots of misinformation, and we're going to start to try to educate our community on what it's actually being done on this space and what we are actually pursuing here. So maybe I will spend a little too much time on these slides, but I hope that after that you guys understand here. So starting with other decentralized exchanges, right? So this is how these projects aim to achieve the trust yourselves, right? So if you look here at the right side, there is the IDEX solution. So this is a solution that's used by many other so-called decentralized exchanges. And we ourselves, when we decided to go in a road close to it, we call ourselves as non-custodian, right? Because there is still a server here. So if you look at the bottom of this screen, this is not a screen made by NEX, this is a screen made by their marketing. There is a server there. And this doesn't mean that they control your funds. So they are no custodian also. But there is a server which receives the orders. It has to also sign these orders. So when you agree to do a trade, you do a signing of that. But your order is actually validated by the servers. And it's sent to a queue, which is a transaction queue. And this transaction queue is going to be settled later on the blockchain. So when you are trading in a DEX and you click buy, your order doesn't go to the blockchain. Your order goes to a server controlled by this company. And this is actually the same way NEO DEXs work today, and is the same way that most of the highest volume DEXs work today in Ethereum also. And the model that we like to call this, and this is no way industry standard, but most people working this use, is the coordinator server. So you have the coordinator model, and in the coordinator model, you are trusting the company to fairly order the matches and fairly time it, because you cannot trust time from the client. Okay, so you can trust up to a window because there is proofs of time everywhere, right? So when you are sending your order, you could send the hash of the last block in some blockchain. That proves that that order was sent after that event. But during that happening, that event, and the order being sent, there's many things that can happen. And you are still trusting that the server, when it receives two orders that happen after the same event, they gonna fairly put yours first instead of creating another order in front of it that will take this or will execute first. Sometimes they are not creating this. I'm not saying these guys create this. I believe they are fair players, but there's people with resources and technology that will try to monitor these events, and they will try to get first from you. This is what we call front running. And the smaller you reduce this time frame, the more difficult it becomes to exploit that. But this is also something that you are trusting. On the other model is a model where they are trying to solve this problem of the coordinator. So this is the decentralized protocol model. So if you look at here, 0x example, this is from the 0x white paper. So all other protocols use something similar. Again, it's not exactly equal everywhere, but this is the model that we're looking for. So here is the model that we call relayer. So coordinator and relayer. On the relayer model, the maker, it communicates with, instead of a single server controlled by a company, it communicates with a network. And this network is made by the nodes of these people that join this network. So you say, why would someone join this network and do this work? It's because there is a competition game where they charge fees, where they earn more fees depending on how they match. So on the relayer model, you connect to this network, and this network keeps an order book of the blockchains that you communicate, and then the takers take these orders and connect to the blockchain. Of course, the relayers, most of the time, so it's not in this picture because this is a single picture, it's not the full specification of the protocol, but of course, these relayers talk and watch the blockchain for these events and how these things go forward. But basically here is what they are trying to solve. They are trying to solve the performance issues, the performance constraints, and they are trying to solve the trust constraint that you have on the coordinator model. So when we did our white paper, we talked about delivering something that was in the middle of both, but much more to the coordinator side than to the protocol side. And I don't know if people here are that old on blockchain, but I would talk on Slack from NEO about how we plan to decentralize this in the future. And what we are going for is that we decided to, instead of launching with something akin to a coordinator, we are going to be giving a step further to get closer to the protocol side. But in NEX, we do not believe that the protocol side is the final solution. We believe that a full network is better. So how this looks like. So this is what is in our white paper. So in your white paper, you can think at the matching engine as something a little bit better than the coordinator. But what we are going to deliver is this. So there is a network of matching engines. This is not a free-to-join network as it is in 0x protocol, for example. But it is provable that they are operating independent of each other. So now the users, they talk to this network, okay? And this network talks to the blockchains. So our goal here is that NEX network will connect you to many other networks. The way you're going to do this is we deploy our vault system in each network, and we develop notification systems for these networks in our match engine. This is the stopgap. In the future, after launching, okay, so not before launching, we plan actually to make this network free to join. So people will be able to run their own matching engines and compete here for trading fees. And this will have more complex consensus protocols than we are launching. So we are launching with something that we call binary agreement. So these matching engines, they agree with each other with a hashing system. But the goal is, in the future, someone will be able to join this network, and by joining this network, he can profit from it, and then we become completely decentralized. But this network will be a highly specialized trading network. It's not a smart contract network. Since this is very complex, and I try to simplify the most with this drawing, a knowledge that I like to do is that NEX itself will be its own chain. It will be probably based on a DAG, so a graph, not a blockchain. And it will live as a shard, so it will live as an independent system inside a broader network. And what we're going to do is, each network that we support, we're going to connect them to this main network as shards inside the system. Okay, so very complex. That's why we are aiming for something a little better. So how are we on the progress of this? So the basic matching engine is almost complete. We are in a process that we call post-processing. So post-processing is, you have to draw a candle chart in the website. How you get that data from that network to this website. So our goal is to deploy these systems for testing in Q4. So deploy for testing, what I say, is the complete package. So we have the front end, we have the matching system, we have the notification settlement system all together. We deploy them to something that we call a staging network. And there we're going to hire the best security teams in the world to try to break it, to try to pain test it, right? And people always ask me, when exchange, right? When we launch. And I say, we launch when ready. And our investors, probably most of you guys, would not like us to say we're going to launch 20 December, but their security audit said that there's an issue there, right? So we launch when it's ready with this system. And then we're going to upgrade later for the full decentralization of the system, for the free joining of the network. what is all this that I talk in Q4 in pictures, in what the user's actually going to use. So what the user's actually going to see is the extension is going to have support for the payment APIs. So the payment APIs were defined already. They are not implemented because they depend on the notification systems, and these are progressing very far. And in Q4, we aim to launch this for final testing. So this is, we're going to migrate our extension from alpha to beta. Together with it is going to be coming a lot of developments. So the structure of the extension that you guys know was finalized in April of this year. From April to today, there's many progress that we did on how we manage keys. So we have observed and we have learned and talked to users, and I hope to talk to more users here. And we have seen the issues that people has when holding their keys. So we're gonna change that, improve that, so this not store locally issue are finished and that people can more easily recover the keys and so on. So this is one development that you're gonna see. You're gonna see the APIs for partners. So here is an example of NOS client trading from Ethereum to NOS token. So the APIs for clients we believe in Q4 for e-testing. So this is not for everybody. This is for the projects that work together with us to use these APIs. A comment here is that these APIs are actually GraphQL API inside our authenticated WebSocket channel. So we hope to have really high performance on this. We also gonna provide a REST API, but we expect that partners are working with us, we implement these high performance APIs for delivering better services. We're gonna deploy the staking system. So the staking system means that the funds management system is online. So you can actually put your contract, your NEX in the contract, lock it up, and receive any proceeds from the operations. So yes, I'm putting the models in front to type everything. Yeah. So one thing that's important here is that we are giving funds back to people who stake tokens. So as we aim for compliance and as we aim for setting the tone and leading the industry and on how these relations are done, you will be needing to do KYC for staking your token, right? We cannot pay anyone because they have a NEX token. You need to be someone that is not involved in things that you should not, right? And it is very important that NEX do not issue legal opinions. So we are not in charge of guarantee that everyone is in agreement with the laws of their own countries. Okay. So what more are we going to deliver? So we're going to deliver the simplified exchange. And the simplified exchange comes together with the advanced exchange on the Q4 testing. But why I put simplify here is because they are built on the same APIs and the same internal systems. So this means that everything behind the scenes is ready. Investor relations. You guys, you guys saw our first quarterly report, and I urge you to look at a little more than just blockchain. Look at established financial services. Look at established technology companies. You see that they do two kinds of reports: a year report and a quarterly report. And we're going to bring the same thing for a blockchain here. Of course, we are not a public company, so many of the indicators that they are obliged to put because of regulations regarding reporting, we will not put, but we will transmit to our investors the progress that we've done in technology, the people that we have inside, and as we operate the exchange, how the operations of the exchange are going, and give accountability for you guys. Our goal here is to self-regulate ourselves. So we need to establish the rules that we see how we're going to operate in 10 years. NEX is not aiming to run for 6 months while someone doesn't catch us, all right? What we are aiming for is that in 6 months, they will look for it and say, hey, how we can put this in some established rules for everybody. So investor relations means not only communicating, but also listening and having iterations with each other. We did a research, so our marketing team did a research. And before I go into the research, I would like to say about the social media ethos. So this is another thing that we want to elevate the industry for, is that we do not distribute information in our social media just to distribute. So most people here receive a swag. Why there's no picture of your bag, of your t-shirt, or of your hat spread in multiple days in Twitter, just to hype it? Because when we communicate, we want to communicate clearly about products and services. That doesn't mean that when you come, you don't receive a swag, you receive a swag, okay? But the thing is, you should expect from our communications this kind of messages. So this is how we're gonna use social media. And we're gonna interact with our users in social media to hear back from you guys, not to share my NEO t-shirt. So we did a research, and on this research, we looked for what are the platforms that people are using. And when doing so, when communicating, we ask 2 questions. How communicating with our users gonna affect our objectives? Which are the KPIs that we are aiming for on this communication? And what is the implication of this communication on the user itself? So we look at here for the platforms that our investors are using, because to participate on this in this research, you needed to have NEX. So we are carrying, so that's why investor relations, we are carrying for our investors. And most of them use Twitter, and they use Twitter as a way to receive information, and they use Telegram to day-to-day chat, and they use YouTube. So these are the leading platforms. So we're gonna have a presence on Twitter and YouTube, but we cannot, unfortunately, use every social media that was shared on this research, because it's very hard to control disinformation. And disinformation is a huge problem for any project in blockchain, legal, political, everywhere. It's a issue of the decade, maybe. And we're gonna stay away the informations where the platforms where disinformation is propagated. So looking at the answers and analyzing it, our team has come up with something really great, which is the NEX community. So we are all from community. If you look at our 5 co-founders, we call us co-founders, we are all from the communities, from blockchain communities. I am Bitcoin since 2012, so many people there has been talking to us at the same place you guys are now. So we wanted to have a home for our community also. And this is the home. So you can enter now in community.neonexchange.org. And if you have the NEX extension and you hold 1 NEX there, so you don't need to hold 1 million NEX. If you hold 1 NEX there, you'll be able to log in our community. If you are not an investor of NEX today, you can still read the articles, but you will not be able to post and chat there. I will be there. Our team will be there. Claire, Chris, Sam, Alex, everybody from NEX will be part of this community. What we are aiming for is facts and truth. So when we communicate there, we want to have our investors actually knowing that this is the information that they need. So how this looks like. So when you enter, you have your profile. So this is based on Discourse, the open source platform Discourse. So you have your profile, it's a forum. And you have several levels that you can achieve if you participate in this community. Here is the home, how it looks like. You have the categories, and you have the latest entries. You can create a new topic. Here is going to show the categories. So you can select categories, and you can select tags. You can, inside a category, create a new topic. And this is, when you talk about, this is not a simple chat, it's a forum. So we expect that these topics will be longer and more deep conversations about our products and services. So when you write something, you can see the preview. So if you have code, if you have images, video, and so on, it's easier. And you can follow topics that you love. Maybe you are in NEX because you are really into our payment solutions, which has been receiving a lot of attention lately. So maybe you want to keep watching our payment topics. Maybe you really want the DEX, so you keep watching everything that will do the DEX. And it will appear in your profile how many messages you have regarding the topics that you follow. You can attain badges and levels. So if you are familiar with Stack Overflow, what we're playing here is that we're gonna increase your level inside the NEX community, and we're gonna have levels where you have more powers. You can have maybe moderation powers, maybe you can post things that others cannot, and of course receive different prizes from the company. With this, our goal is to transform it from a top-down to a bottom-up solution. So we want to be in contact with you guys. This is our anniversary, so it's 1 year, but we hope to have every year investor relations talk like this, where we come and talk to our community, and we want to have quarterly reports where we're going to have online events to communicate with others. So we are building a community, not only a company. At the end, what we hope is that you see yourself as part of NEX, because NEX is not a cryptocurrency. NEX is not a coin. NEX is a security. So everyone here who holds NEX is a partner of NEX. You receive part of the profits here. So how we work together to make this a success? And this is the place where we're going to discuss this. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So we're going to hold the AMA section after this, and there is going to be cake now, so you can enjoy next cake. But before everybody goes up, stay seated. We have one more thing. So one of our partners is here. Dean, please come on.
Hi, I'm Dean van Duchteren from NOS, and we are a very happy partner of NEX. We feel like we share a lot of the same values, where we really try to bring blockchain to the next level, which is adoption. You know, the past year we've seen a lot of speculation. Now we're moving into that stage where we really want people building stuff and people actually using stuff. And that's one of the things that we try to do, and we feel like we share that value with NEX. And one of the ways we do that is with our new website. We really try to put a focus on the product, which is already live. We don't really try to sell you or shove a white paper in your face. We do have it, but we want you to use the project, and we want you to use the apps. And these applications are powered by NEX as well, as Fabio explained, with the smart token conversion. And so that's one of the things that we try to do. And one other thing we have is we have a surprise for everyone who came here. We really value the NEX community as well, and we feel like we share that, that value. So we actually have some NOS tokens to give away. So we have, for one person here, we have 500 NEX tokens. No, I'm kidding, it's for everyone. Everybody gets NOS. We have 500 NOS, which is ICO value of 50 USD for everyone who came here. We have your email address. And we'll use that to give you the NOS tokens. We will follow up by email. Thank you.
So, you guys come to next anniversary and we keep giving presents, right? So it's okay, you guys invested. So let's enjoy the cake, Thank you.